Shabbat Shalom, Yeladim and Yeladot. My name is Mara Fagi, and I would love to share some ideas with you about this week's Parsha. Now, what is this week's Parsha? Well, I have a special song that I like to sing where I'm going to ask you, Ma Parshat HaShavua. What is this week's Parsha? Now, when I point at you, I'm going to need you to say the name of the Parsha. Do you know what it is? Well, I'll help you out this time. Lecha. Okay? Are you ready? Let's go! Ma Parshat HaShavua. Ma Parshat HaShavua. Ma Parshat HaShavua. Parshat Lecha. Great job! Thanks for helping me out. Well, in the Torah, we're going to open it up and we're going to get to the third Parsha in the Torah, in the Sefer of Bereshit. In this week's Parsha, we learn a lot more about Avram Avinu and his wife Sarah Imenu. Now, Avram gets a special message from Hashem. And Hashem says to Avram, Lech Lecha ume'artzecha, go from your land. Now, if somebody told me to go, I would have to start making lists. Where are we going? What's the weather going to be like? Bathing suits, snowsuits. I don't know what to pack. But Avram Avinu had so much emunah and faith in Hashem that he said, Hashem wants me to go? Let's go, guys. And he packed up his family and they went on a trip to Canaan. Now, Hashem showed Avram Canaan. It was a beautiful land. And Hashem gave Avram a promise. This is the first of a few promises in this week's Parsha. Hashem says to Avram, this very land of Canaan is going to be your land one day. It's going to be the land of Israel for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Guess what, boys and girls? That's us. That's you and me. We are the children of Abraham and Sarah. And this land of Israel is our special land. Now, there was a problem. There wasn't enough rain. And when there isn't enough rain, the crops can't grow. The fruits and vegetables aren't so good. So Avram and his wife Sarah had to go down to Egypt. And they had a whole adventure in the land of Egypt. Now Hashem helped them there as well. And when they got out, Hashem gave Avram the second promise of this week's Parsha. And that promise was called Brit Bein Habitarim. This was the promise between the parts. There was animals on this side and animals on this side. And Avram Avinu was right in the middle. And Hashem said to Avram, look up into the heavens and look down at the ground. Now let me ask you, if you look up at the sky at night, what do you see twinkling in the sky? Now if you said kochavim or stars, you would be correct. And now if you were at the beach or in the desert and you looked down on the ground, what would you see? Well, sand, of course. Now can you count the stars? No way. Can you count the sand? No way. There's way too many. Well, Hashem says to Avram, that's how many children you're going to have. As many as the stars in the sky and the sand on the ground. Well, you know what? This promise came true because there's so many Jewish people all over the world. In Baltimore, all over America, in China, in Israel, in Europe. There are Jewish people living everywhere. And this was part of this week's Parsha and one of the many promises that Hashem promises to Avram. At the end of the Parsha, we get a special mitzvah. And one of the things I love about this mitzvah is that we still do this mitzvah today. Avram Avinu is given the mitzvah of the Brit. When we say on Pesach, who knows 8? I know 8. 8 are the days before our Brit. Well, that's right. In this week's Parsha, we learn that on the 8th day of a baby boy's life, after he is born, he has a special mitzvah of a Brit Milah, when he becomes part of the Jewish people and he gets his Jewish name. And it's such a beautiful celebration and mitzvah. And one of the coolest things is that we still do this mitzvah today. If you have a brother, or if you're a boy yourself, or maybe your father, your uncle, your grandpa, they have all been part of this mitzvah. And the Jewish girls have joined the Jewish people as well, and we also get a Jewish name in a beautiful celebration. Well, that is all for this week and Parshat Lech Lecha. I'm so glad you got to join me. Now you can give your Torah a kiss and put it back in Aron Kodesh for next week. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I hope to see you again soon.